G'day, recording this video on Sunday the 7th of September 2025, just gone 3 a.m. Chicago time. Do hope you are doing well. So it's the weekend, time for another weekend futures market recap, where I go through 15 of the largest futures markets and I show you what I'm seeing on my charts. Well, the professionals are not making it easy for us. We said last weekend's video that we had weakness and we were going short. And we had a 150 point decline in the Emini, which was nice. But then we caught and we went all the way back up. A short covering rally, the professionals pushing people out of positions. So we're almost back to where we started. Anyway, I'll show you that on the 13,500 tip bar chart. And then we'll go through the tip bar charts of the other futures markets. Not a lot setting up. I think Japanese yen set up nicely this week. I think the bonds were interesting this week, but I think it's all in the equities market at the moment. And if we get a sell-off again this next week, I think a lot of things will become clear. All right, let's start with the daily chart of the E-mini. I'm showing you the continuous contract with day and night sessions just because the better momentum plot is a little smoother than on the day session only. And it's showing as we're reaching up to these new highs, you can see the momentum just coming off. So we got that's a bearish divergence in momentum. One high is made with a high momentum read, and then the next highest high is made with a lower read on momentum. So we got that divergence setting up. Yep, pullback to end of trend, and then second cyclical turn on the daily chart on the lowest time frame, and we've got cyclical cross here that's going to play in. It's not the end of this trending market, but I think we got to sell off and then catch and keep on going up. The background is in red, no blue professional bars on the E-mini. And just to reiterate, this uptrend is not going to be over until we see blue professional up bars. So the professionals will be getting in on lows and sell-offs like this. But once they're getting out at the highs, that's when we should be worried that this equities rally is all over. We can easily have weakness along the way to see where the professionals step in at any point in time. So that's the daily chart. 135-minute chart. Here's our trailing stop. Again, the background's in red. We've got to break this at 6,240 to turn us into a downtrend. You can see all the pullback to end of trends rippling through the time frames here. At some point, dropping through that 63.71 type level. These bars would start to turn white, which would show we're in a downtrend in terms of better sine wave. But in terms of professional activity, amateur bars, this week there was nothing at the highs. The last time we had blue professional bars, they were buying that little dip there. So still an uptrend on the 135-minute chart. 45-minute chart, there's the dip, the professionals are buying in, the background's in blue, so it's super high average trade size on the 45-minute chart here. And on this one, we had blue professional bars rescue us on the sell-off that we had this week. And then we got blue professional bars here. The low of that blue professional bar is going to be absolutely key. So if that gets broken, what is that? 64.52. That's an important level. And you can see we're just winding up and winding up here. We're getting tighter and tighter in terms of better sine wave on the 45-minute chart here, just batting backwards and forwards between these highest time frame support and resistances. So we're caught in that little consolidation zone that's pretty tight. And the 15-minute chart, this looks so untidy when we look at it on that view. Big moves up and down. I think the 13,500 tip bar chart cleans this up, but in terms of the 15-minute chart, it was really ratty. So highs last week, Rambo patterns at those highs, squeeze pattern with support resistant line and price super close together. We break into a downtrend Labor Day at the beginning of the week, and then this market sold off the overnight and the Monday night, and then crashed down 150 points from here to here. Blue professional bars come in here and we rocket away. And then on this weakness, well, we didn't have blue professional bars taking profits up there, but we had blue professional bars buying this dip. So on the 15-minute chart, we still have to resolve this. We've got to trail the stop back up, and then the low of that region is going to be key. So that's interesting on the 15. It reads a little bit different on the 13,500 tip bar chart, because here we've got blue professional up bars into those highs at 65.40, taking profits, super high average trade size, and then we sold off. The background's in grey. We're technically now on this time frame in a downtrend, and we've just bounced off amateur down bars here, and we're under the lip, we're under the trailing stop here. So let's see if we can continue down. Didn't end up with an exhaustion buy pattern up here. Just had blue professional bars taking profits into those highs. And that was the signal that we got last week on this time frame. blue professional bars, backgrounds in blue, super high average trade size. There's our signal at the end of last week, and then we sold off here. And at those lows, what would have been nice, yes, amateur down bars into here, but we didn't have like Rambo patterns down at the lows. We had one blue professional bar come in at the end of that day, and then we rocketed forward. They weren't taking profits at this point here. In fact, the blue professional bars were coming in on the down bars here. A lot of squeezes going on, so support and resistance was super close together. Let me just show you that. What's happening here. Got to say, this week we rolled over to the new version of parallels, and it is not good. I do not like the new version at all. I wouldn't suggest anybody rolls over to the new version until we get this sorted out. So here we go. Those are the squeeze patterns happening with support and resistance super close together. And if we look at that on better sine wave chart, there we go. That's that confluence there. The support and resistance lines super close and the pricing bars super close, and then we break into an uptrend there. Didn't end up with exhaustion, didn't end up with pullback to end of trends at those highs. We just had those blue professional bars taking profits into those highs. And we've got another signal short at the moment, but we need to break the lows. 64.50 is going to be key, so let's see if we get that this week. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. They don't make it easy for us. They were getting short here, and then the wrong foot is down here, and then they're getting short again, the professionals, at these highs. And they were using this week's activity just to force everybody out of their positions there with a short covering rally, and then they come back in again. Of course, bust the highs there so that we break all of those stops that are sitting up at those highs, and then we start the move down again. But we still need confirmation. We still need to break through this swing low. 45,000 tip bar chart, just showing you this because this is what we could see during the week. So this is overnight situation, Thursday into Friday. The week before, there's all those blue professional bars, exhaustion buy patterns, the signal short at that point. Then Labor Day, backwards and forwards, and then we finally break into that downtrend overnight, and then the next morning we catch at those lows with blue professional bars. Nice move down, nice signal short, nice signal long, and then this move starts to rally. Big pro bars come in here mid-sequence, weren't taking profits at the highs, but we got Rambo patterns. The amateurs were trying to get short, and then we break back up through those highs, and there's all of those blue professional bars taking profits into 65.40, and then signal short again. This one I didn't like for a short because we didn't have blue professional bars taking profits here. But this one, a little bit late, but at least we had blue professional bars taking profits into those highs. So I think what we saw this week with the mini was we had a short covering rally. We've come back up, got rid of all the stops that were sitting above the previous high, and we're going to have another go to the downside. But as usual, the pros don't make it easy for us. Okay, so let's look at the Forex charts. We'll start with the Euro chart here. And it's ugly. It's backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. Yep, we're in an uptrend at the moment. We had exhaustion sell, bullish divergence flush down here. We had big pro bars a couple of weeks ago, buying those lows, and then we set off to the upside, and this weakness. Rambo patterns at the moment. It's not a clear signal on the euro. British pound now starting to weaken. Had some bad news with losing a deputy prime minister in the UK. Exhaustion buy patterns, bearish divergence patterns up here, blue professional bars, and we fall into a downtrend. We've come back up to that level to test, so we need to break through 34.52 to get confirmation that we're in a downtrend on the British pound. Aussie dollar, again, there's a lot of big pro bars happening over the last 2 weeks. But they're mid-sequence. These ones were taking profits, we sell off. This one's mid-sequence, and then we've rallied up to Rambo patterns here. So that's weak. Let's see if we break 65.25 this week on the way down. Japanese yen, this is the one that was cleanest this week because we had the equities sell-off down here. Big pro bars coming at the lows, exhaustion sell, bullish divergence, set off into an uptrend, get confirmation here. Blue professional bars coming on the retrace here. So let's see if we get above 68.20 on the way back up on Japanese yen. And 10 years, both strong. So we had on the sell-off at the beginning of the week, big pro bars coming in here. A little bit of profit taking here, but there's only one, I think, blue professional bar here. But on this dip, they were using that activity to get long. We break above the highs of that, signal long, and we're off. No blue professional bars taking profits here. So exhaustion buy, bearish divergence, yep, but we got blue professional bars on a stair-step trade for the 10 years, keeping strong. So you got Japanese yen, you got the 10 years, both rallying, which shows a risk-off, another risk-off opportunity for this week. Gold, seemingly they were taking profits at this point here. Big pro bars come in. We had exhaustion buy, we had blue boxes taking profits, but then the blue professional bars stepped in on this retrace. That level is going to be absolutely key, so 35.74. If that gets broken this week, then we'll have people dumping out of the gold long trade, which has set up nicely over the last 2 weeks, and I missed it because of this sequence here, these big pro bars. I wasn't sure what they were doing at that point, but obviously we've had a nice rally. Silver, we've just got Rambo patterns here at the highs. We don't have blue professional bars taking profits. The last time professionals came in, it was on the dip. So still technically in an uptrend on silver. Let's see if we get through 42, 42.50 on silver, which is interesting. Bitcoin nothing yet. No big pro bars come in here. We had a little bit of strength this week, came back up to 14. Seemingly the blue professional bars step in here, break the lows of that. Background's in grey. We're in a downtrend on Bitcoin. What I'm looking for in Bitcoin is nice exhaustion sell with big pro bars come in the background in blue, a super high amount of activity, and clearly the 110 level psychologically important, but let's see if we get that exhaustion play if we break through 108 on Bitcoin there. Ethereum, yep, profit taking happened up here at just under 5,000, and then they've come in, the background's in blue. So here we go, this is interesting, and Rambo patterns at this point, 4,300. So let's see if we get a break through 44.44 on Ethereum for continuation of the uptrend. And crude, yeah, crude not looking healthy at all. So we had big pro bars taking profits here, and then we came back up, busted some stops over 65, and now it's weakened from there. No blue professional bars at the lows yet on crude. So we've got 10-year notes rallying, we've got Japanese yen rallying, we've got crude selling off. So all of those are risk-off type trades and showing weakness in the economy, which is shown by the employment numbers this week. Natural gas had a nice run to exhaustion buy at 315, but we're broken into downtrend. Not a huge amount of profit taking up here with blue professional bars. Natural gas is weak at the moment. Copper untradable, just because, as I've said over the last several weeks, this is all tariff related. Yet we got big pro bars here, and we're in a downtrend on copper, so technically, yep, looking weak. Corn, we had a nice low being made down here, but it's not a classic top been made up here, I would say. Not a whole bunch of blue professional bars. We'd like to see big pro bars coming in here, so let's see if we can still rally a little bit further on corn. Soybeans topped out, been a downtrend, and then seemingly caught exhaustion buy, bearish divergence. This needs to prove itself. We need to get back up through 1036 and blue professional bars to come in here to show us that soybeans ready to rally. And wheat topped out last week, exhaustion buy, bearish divergence. It just ramped off the Rambo patterns, a little bit of profit taking down here, but no exhaustion sell. So not a lot of signals, I would say, on those charts this week. But let's see if we get continuation of strength in Japanese yen, strength in 10 years. Let's see if we can get some resolution from some of those Forex markets this week. They start to break in a particular direction. So my bias still to the short side on the E-mini. Let's see if we can have another bite at the apple on the way down. The pros are trying to shake people out of their positions. So let's see if they try it again this week, or we're going to have clear sailing to the downside. Anyway, so I hope your trading is going well. Looking forward to next week's trade.